Reading between the lines, why does this person actually hate their life at university? Okay, so this is a dude. He's taking public transport. Oh, yeah, 40 minutes. Okay, so why did he choose this shot right here? This should be a dead giveaway to why he is hating his life. Let me back up a second here. Besides the 40-minute train ride, so this is a big one, right? He shows up to a university campus and he sees people everywhere. And he also sees people with each other. Although, to be quite fair, besides everyone that is sitting together near that big building near the center of the screen, a lot of the people to the right are usually by themselves. This can be problematic because you don't really know what's going on in these people's lives, but it's very easy to get stuck in the echo chamber of your own head and thinking everyone else has friends but you. I'd be willing to bet there's a good number of people in this exact picture that don't have friends and feel lonely as well. Sitting alone in the corner when you are late to class is pretty par for the course. You don't want to interrupt a bunch of people and go straight into the middle when you didn't get there on time. So this is neither here nor there. I would say this is very neutral and pretty expected.
Whatever shot is yours.
Okay, normal. Okay, here's another thing. So he says, I'm a film major, and he knows he'll be homeless in a few years. Is that a positive or negative outlook? Rhetorical question, of course, but he doesn't really feel good about what he's doing. Yet he still feels the desire to be a film major. He could be in some crossroads about his career and what he actually wants to do. We don't know what year he is, but I'm going to assume he's got time to figure it out. That was a dark shot. Crazy artistic, though. Tempting exit. I'm going to assume the joke with this one is that he wants to take an exit from the world of the living. But loneliness can feel like that. So I don't necessarily blame him for this tongue-in-cheek joke. Hopefully it's tongue-in-cheek. Free time, what's he do? Yeah, that one can always be a killer. So when you have some free time and you just end up sitting alone, I wish I could be right there with him, not just to give him a talk, but also to help him start taking the first steps towards changing his life. Instead of just sitting by yourself during free time, what this person could do is they could go talk to other people that are also sitting by themselves or sitting at tables. I know the tables can be very intimidating, and even just going up to somebody you don't know can be very intimidating. But if you're coming from a place of providing value and understanding where people are at, whether they're open to conversation or not, once you have that down, then you can start talking to people you don't know without too much fear of anything, because you are coming and offering value. And that would be one step that this guy could immediately take to start changing his life around. See, he wants to join in. That is our natural inclination as a person. We want to join in. And literally, sometimes all we have to do is say the words, "Can I join you guys?" There are going to be people that rail against these words because it's needy or it's desperate. But I also want to put forth the fact that most people, as long as they truly aren't in some fixed situation where it's impossible for other people to join, if you can come with a smile and ask if you can join somebody, that's actually offering value. What's better than 8 people playing volleyball? 9. especially if they find out you're a cool person. It will be considered unorthodox, but if you have social calibration, you will be just fine joining new groups. The biggest obstacle here is just asking the question. And see, that's what keeps everyone back. Everyone's so worried about everybody else thinking they're weird. Here's the heads up. Most people feel out of place somewhat. Most people feel uncomfortable in their own skin. And so when they see somebody else trying to join in, most people are actually going to have a pretty good reaction to that, as long as you're not bringing the wrong vibes around. Yeah, it's never a good thing to lose stuff. Nice, nice. I think also it's important to adopt the mindset of not being bored. And if there's something you really want to do, engaging in it. I think that people who always say that they're bored, it's a little bit of a defense and coping mechanism. I don't necessarily blame people for that. But due to the context of us knowing this video, we know he's lonely. And so I think that boredom would be better spent, at the very least, figuring out ways and opportunities to join in with other people, or at the very least to meet other people and start a conversation. Think about how much more ecstatic about classes he would be if he knew he was going to bump into some friends, or at least some acquaintances, or if he had other social things going on in his life that he was looking forward to later. There's nothing quite like the feeling of studying all day for an exam, taking it sometime in the week, and then going to hang out with a bunch of people later and go party or go do some sort of social event. That is always a bunch of fun. I don't mind the sitting in the back. I think it's the general attitude of it that really brings it down. There's really social people that do end up sitting in the back, and they do it just because they want to focus for once, or because they like being on their phone. It's totally fine. It's more an attitude thing there. He talked to no one today, but tomorrow he could break his personal record, and he could talk to somebody tomorrow. Just one. Make it a goal. Just talk to one more person than you did the day before. And if you fail, it resets to 0, and you can do that again. Sandwich. Night rides are fun. You should find other people that also like to do that. It's not always available at every college, but most places are going to have other people who are also into writing. Yeah, when he said Sag, I had a feeling he was pretty involved in the zeitgeist of Twitch, or just live streaming in general. I think a lot of people turn to this as a sort of coping mechanism as well. This is so weird. On the internet, I always see so many people in the same situation like me, sad, alone, isolated, and cannot socially connect. But when I go outside, go to school, or go to the gym, I have never in my life have seen a person with the same problem as me. Everybody has friends and friend groups or big social circles. See, exactly what he's thinking about other people is probably what a bunch of other people are thinking themselves. Imagine the power of just going up to individuals that look lonely and just talking to them. And you'll know pretty much within the first 10, 15 seconds if they're open to talking or not. And you are going to be surprised once you finally do that, how many people are open to talking or creating a friendship from nothing, especially within a university setting. You're all in relatively the same stage of life and all relatively understand the general band of problems that come with that age and that type of life. People say university is your best shot at making long-lasting friends, but if that's true, then we're well and truly cooked. I'm now on my 4th year, and I've spoken to and gotten along well with other students over the years, but I find it so hard to make genuine friendship beyond the classroom or lab. At my school, the terms last 10 weeks, and it's hard to get to know people on a personal level. Also, past your sophomore year, it's almost impossible to find friends or partners since everyone else has already found their own groups. I don't know if anyone else has had this experience, but I really wanted to share. I think it is more difficult to make friends within a class if you don't have a series of classes that go together over the years. For example, you'll go from Biology 101 to Biology 102 to 102A, and the same people tend to go from class to class in the same groups. So outside of that, it can be difficult to make friends, but that's not to say you can't. You're never going to know, and you have a new set of people to try it with every semester. So it's important to give that a shot when you are in university and feeling lonely. This is what I was talking about earlier. It's insanely hard to do assignments or homework when you're lonely or isolating yourself at home without friends outside school. That's the thing. I am a big believer in social life having a huge impact on other areas of your life, whether that's career, whether that's mental health, whether that's emotional. For some people, it's spiritual life as well. You want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go together. And when you're studying hard with other people or studying by yourself and trying to smash something so that you have time to hang out with other people later, that is a huge incentive that can actually boost your grades. I know it definitely did so for me. How come in the 90s approaching people is cool, nowadays approaching people seems like a crime, lol? Where did we go wrong? It's not a crime, but everybody has been spending too much time online, and people generally see the bad actors and outliers online because those are what make the headlines, and they assume that's what everybody is like or seems like, and they don't want to be one of those people. Have you ever seen a video where somebody approaches somebody else and is frankly not welcomed? That is what makes viral content. That is what makes for the wow moments that gets everybody talking. And usually the comments of those videos are really not kind, whether it's deserved or not. So of course the people that are online more and more, specifically Gen Z and Gen A now, they're not going to want to take any social risks because they're seeing all of these people getting filmed and made fun of online, which can have real impacts in life. And unfortunately, they don't understand that that's not real life right there in terms of everybody getting negative responses when they approach somebody in public that they don't know. If you see somebody approach a stranger and they have a great conversation, maybe even become friends on the spot, that's not going to make a good headline. Thus, all the negative stuff comes up to the top, and that's what people see and take as a representative of what daily life is like, which is just so far from the truth. Was any of this relatable? And what's the biggest hurdle for you in terms of talking to people you don't know and making friends? Thanks for